Good afternoon. I should say one of the coldest weeks that I've remembered, so I hope everybody's staying warm. But welcome to the week 6 video. Hard to believe, week 6, starting to wrap it up. I know we're only starting week 5, but my videos are usually 1 week in advance, especially when things will be concluding quickly. Just want to quickly identify and a couple things regarding the papers. I can't stress enough, you must have an abstract. APA requires an abstract when you're turning in an academically refereed paper. There are still a few that are posting or presenting papers that do not have abstracts, so please reach out to me if you are in need of some examples, but I wanted to put that out there. Second of all, week 5, week 6, papers, minimum of 1,500, week 6, minimum of 2,500. That's what the syllabus should have said instead of up to. The last professor had up to. Please note that I've changed it. It is a minimum of 1,500 now and a minimum of 2,500. There has been no points taken away on the previous exams. In fact, that's how I learned about it. I did, and one of the students was gracious enough to point that out, that it said up to 1,500. So please note, week 5, week 6, both papers must be a minimum of week 5, 1,500 minimum. The final, the big paper, if you will, minimum of 2,500 words. Thanks so much. Again, forums are fantastic. Please keep it up. That's exactly the type of interaction and dialogue I absolutely enjoy going in there and watching the interaction between you guys in the forums. It's a really fantastic job. Just quickly, week 6 textbook, on the big organizational textbook, it really is super easy when you're reading and wrapping up chapters, I think 14, 15. It's on leadership, a recap of the models that you've learned, and what are decisions. So very easy. The last chapter, 2 chapters, the final readings of the big book. Interesting enough, on the decision making, the small white book, it's actually one of the best chapters. What a great way to conclude. And really one of the takeaways in there is going to be that decision making, or they're talking about small group and group decision making. That is so applicable and so challenging in most organizations, including the 2 organizations that I work for, our credit union and the University of Sioux Falls. It doesn't matter if you're a bunch of PhDs, you have a bunch of really smart people, engineers, you can't, regardless, simple-minded people like myself, you cannot, it's very tough when you're in a group to really be effective, to properly communicate your position without someone not misinterpreting or misunderstanding. It's so applicable. It's just a really good, there's a good one to put in your manager's toolbox, and that is the readings, the final, I think it's chapter 8 in the white book, and it's on group decisions. There's a few other topics in there, but really the good takeaways are group decisions. That'd be a great one to include in your kind of final paper. Remember that final paper is the wrap up. It's really bringing everything together from week 1 through week 5, and drafting a nice paper that was reflective of your learning. Lastly, just talking about when final papers are due. This course, please note, the forum, the final 6 forum, week 6 forum, concludes on 2/14 or February 14th, Valentine's Day at 11:55. The paper, the final paper, minimum of 2,500 words, that paper is due on Friday, February 15th at 11:55. No exceptions, absolutely none. That's actually going a little bit longer for you. By the way, some of you are very good. You're working a week in advance. In fact, one student already has week 5 paper is in. I'm going to start grading that this weekend. and turn them in when you get them. I would encourage you to turn it in as soon as you can, and you kind of see how quickly I'll just start basically at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night, and I'll just grade till 2:30, and then I'll work again the next day. But my goal is really to get those grades back to you in a very timely fashion. So other than that first week when it kind of dragged on, when I was getting, because we had to compress those 2 weeks when we had some issues with textbooks, but I think you can see weeks 3, 4, I'm turning them around within 12 hours, 12, 24 hours. So if you want to get that done, feel free to submit your last, make your last form, submit your last paper before February 15th, and you'll get a proper response on your grade, and you'll know pretty much where your grade is for the course. The last paper, I will tell you, I've been very generous on some different things. The first 2 weeks, I was generous on APA, and every week I'm just kind of making it a little bit tougher. So if you have been getting 290 points or 295, and all of a sudden now you're at 275, no, it's just going to keep getting tougher. I've sent out several emails identifying different things to help you, or in the response of the previous grade. So I expect that you would implement those, or at least here to the APA. And of course, anyone who's under 1,500 or under 2,500 words will be docked as well. So they are going to get tougher. Pretty much I've been grading very easy. There's some of you are fantastic writers. I've been generous and liberal in providing feedback for others, but the last 2 papers will actually hit the full required academic rigor of an MBA candidate. So just want to let you know that's about it. Thank you so much. Let me tell you, it's an absolute honor and privilege to serve as your professor. I enjoy this thoroughly and take this responsibility very seriously. Please reach out to me if you need anything, if it's course related, non-course related, and I absolutely wish you the best as some of you are concluding your academic journey and soon to be true master's students and final candidates. I wish you all the absolute best. Be well, be safe, and be warm. Have a great day.